Hi, welcome back to Physics Teacher. This was a question on the Euclid contest, which is a grade 12 math contest from Waterloo University. And it says, for some n greater than 5, here we have an arithmetic sequence with n terms. And then it tells us the third term in the sequence and the n minus 2 term in the sequence, and that the sum of all these terms is 1,000. And then it asks for how many terms there are in the sequence. Give it a try, and I'll be right back with the solution. Alright, so an arithmetic sequence means that, let's say our first term is t1, our second term t2 is going to be t1 plus some common difference. That common difference could be, say, if you go up by 2 every single term, like 2, 4, 6, 8, then d would be 2. Similarly, t3 would be t1 plus 2d, right? And so on and so on and so on, all the way up till tn minus 2. That would be our final term minus 2d. tn minus 1 would be our final term minus one of those common differences, all the way up to tn. So there's our sequence. Okay, now something to notice in the sequence, if I were to take the second term and the second last term and add them together, what would I get? So t2 plus tn minus 1. Well, t2 is t1 plus d, and tn minus 1 is tn minus d. So here we have d minus d, so they will cancel, and we're just left with t1 plus tn, which is the sum of the first term and the last term. We can continue this pattern and say that this also equals the sum of the third term plus the third last term, which would be t3 plus tn minus 2. So what this means is if I have n terms, then if I pair up each term, which all equal each other, then I have n over 2 pairs. So n terms and n over 2 pairs. And because all the pairs are the same value, they all add to the same value, I can take any pair, for example this one, add them, so t1 plus tn, and then multiply by the number of pairs we have, and that's going to be the sum of this sequence. So if you had 10 terms, then we would have 5 pairs. This works for odd numbers as well. If you only had 9 terms, you'd have 4.5 pairs, and then you can simply use the sum of any one of these pairs. You just don't want to use the middle number. Now in this case, I know t3 is not the middle number because I know n is greater than 5. If n equaled 5, then t3 would be the middle number. Now for this problem, I'm actually given t3 and tn minus 2. So that's the pair I want to use. I want to use this pair. So I'm going to replace that in my formula here for the sum. And I also know the sum is 1,000. So we have 1,000 equals n over 2 times by t3 plus tn minus 2. And I know what those values are. They're given to us. So we have n over 2 times by t3 is 5, and t of n minus 2 is 95, and that's going to equal 1,000. So 5 plus 95 is 100, divided by 2 is 50, so I have 1,000 equals 50n, or divide both sides by 50, and we get n equals to 20. So there are 20 terms in this sequence.